my hair is all wet because I just got out of the tub. But I had a brain fart while I was in the tub. I'm like, wait a minute. Because the car wouldn't start after the whole, for swapping the carb. Like, it was just having a really hard time starting and just would not really stay running very well. Like, you may have seen in my video there. Which, oh my god, my hair's a mess. There we go. That's lovely. But I found out something because I had a brain fart while I was in the tub. I'm like, wait a minute, the vacuum port on the carburetor, I didn't block that off. So of course, giant vacuum leak coming out of it, which don't get me wrong, gave it one hell of a choppy idle. It sounded fantastic in that regard, but just ran like crap. There's a few other things that I need to take care of with that Holly carb swap. So, as an example, the throttle return spring bracket, I need to modify that, which I might see tomorrow actually if the machine shop here in town could fab something up for me maybe. But no, actually that's not gonna work because I'd have to actually get down there. Crap, with the car. Never mind, that's not gonna work. So okay. Like, I have to see if my buddy Lance can maybe help me out, which is my neighbor, or one of my neighbors anyways. He owns this really badass C10 truck. I'll just see if I can get a hold of him tomorrow. Problem is, he's so difficult to get a hold of via text. Hi, John. John Okosus. Sorry, I totally probably butchered your name bad. Oxys? Maybe? I don't know. From Windsor, Connecticut. When you wrote Windsor, I thought you were going to say Windsor, Ontario. So, that's what I'm used to hearing. I didn't realize there was a Windsor in Connecticut. Well, there you go. I've been playing around with this new carb today. I still need to figure out a bunch of little things for it. So everything I need to figure out. So I noticed that my idle stop screw is too short by quite a bit. I need that much longer. Okay, there's that. There is also I need an air cleaner spacer because where the new fuel line is, it's just gonna hit. So okay, I need to figure out a stud for the new carburetor because it's different than the one I had for my Motorcraft carb. I need to figure out where I'm going to mount my choke, my manual choke pole inside the car, and what else is there? I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but that's kind of the bulk of it that I need to finish before Friday, preferably. If not, then Monday. Or not Monday. Then before Saturday, hopefully. Because I want to get this thing buttoned up, ready to go, and I want to hit the dyno with it. But I can't run without an air cleaner, obviously. Unless I gotta borrow one off a friend. But then, how am I gonna mount it without the stud? And it just gets all screwy. Because regardless of where the new location is for the fuel line on the Holly carb versus where it was with the Motorcraft carb, because basically where where it comes out, it's almost in line with the top of the carburetor. So, yeah, you need a bit of a spacer for your air cleaner, no matter what, with that. And then I need a slightly thicker spacer because of my, whatchamacallit, I do have a, if my brain will work here, if it'll function, come on, brain. Sorry, it's just not clicking in my head at the moment. Oh yeah, because my fuel filter as well is mounted high too. So it needs to be about an inch spacer will do it. inch spacer and potentially notch the air cleaner. Something I can do though is, because I didn't even think about this, is I could, because now actually I don't need the, if I run out of space up top, what I can do is I can take the carburetor off and I can it's it does drop down, to be honest. So if it was just flat, I don't think I'd have the problem. Because actually, well, here, I can grab it. It's just inside. Give me 1 second. I'll grab it. Ugh. There's my kitty photobombing. So, if we take a look, yeah. Come on. Ugh. So you can see the underside of it, right? Like that. But the problem is, so, like I can put a spacer underneath here, right? That's not a problem. I might need to, yes, you know, I could do a thing of all thread. And yeah, I would just need to figure out another wing nut too, but that's fine. Yeah, sorry, I meant to say drop down base. So, you know, because if it was a flat across base, I don't think I'd have the problem that I do. The problems that I do. So, there's that. But, and you know, you talk about how disturbing the cat is illegal. So he is 24 years old, and he really doesn't give a crap. I can move him. He's okay, and he's here purring as we speak. Hey, buddy. Yeah, he's just an old fart of a cat. But you know, it's one of the things. So, like I said, there's a few things I need to figure out. Which, yeah, actually, all thread, that's not a bad idea. I'll have to see. This hole should be big enough for that size that's in the carburetor. I don't know the exact size that's in the carburetor. So, basically, what I have to do is I have to find my... I just have to find a bunch of bolts, see which one threads in, go to the store, get some all thread, chop it down to what I need, and be Gucci. For that, anyways. So, yeah, and then there's some other things, because I'm not paying, like, the $60 or $70 for the throttle return spring bracket, like the Holly one, that is specifically designed for this carburetor. I'm just going to see if my neighbor can help me out with, you know, modifying the one I have. So, yeah, this one's the 5/16, I believe. While the Motorcraft one was the other one. So, yeah. That makes sense, actually. Yeah, that's pretty sure. Pretty darn sure. But, so, I mean, just some things to figure out, right? Basically, though, I need to kind of, because don't get me wrong, I can drive the Capri, it's just sketch, and if I drive it up there, I'm leaving it up there, so I have to borrow one of my buddy's cars, which I want to talk to him about that, because if I don't get this together, that's what's going to happen. Just because I need to get the Capri up to my buddy anyways, so it kind of works out. See, and actually, I got this off of Roy Marco, which he hasn't done content for a while, but he's been going through some lifestyle changes, so. But he's looking into doing more content again. But, so, basically, that's kind of my dilemmas at the moment. And then, like, the throttle stop, I just need to figure out what thread that is, which I can literally just take that out, take it with me, get a long bolt and just do it that way. Like a really long bolt of that, and I can just cut it down to what I need. So I think that's my game plan for tomorrow. And I meant to do some stuff to the parts car today. Like I meant to take out the rad. Um, you know, that sort of thing. So we'll figure it out. Like I said, it's just yeah, well, exactly. Like, because I don't have the money to buy new. Because otherwise, I just buy that bracket new. Like I'm really hurting for cash at the moment. So and because basically, put it this way, if I don't get this fixed by Friday, I will not be going to this movie night with a car club in Calgary as much as I want to. It just I wouldn't be able to afford it. I can do it with Stitch. I can't do it with the other car because the other car's running low on gas. And I'll have to fill that one, and it drinks fuel badly. Um, so there's a few things to kind of do. And what sucks is like because I wish that I could just go up to Edmonton, or like go up to Nisku this weekend, do the dyno, spend a couple of days up there till the parts come in, and then put all the parts into the Capri, fix that, make it good, and then move on, and then finish Stitch. But that's not possible because somebody has to take care of the cats because my dad is working a shift of 20 days on, 10 off. So yeah, looks a little nicer. I haven't cleaned that air cleaner lid in a long time. I need to properly clean it though with like better cloths and stuff, but looks a little better. Anyways, so yeah, it's just this whole thing, and I felt so stupid because of like a couple of things. So like there was that vacuum leak that was causing it to like run really rough. It sounded badass, like a badass chop that I kind of want the car to sound with like a cam, but you know. Um. Oh, for sure. It's one of those things. Like I'm kind of hurting at the moment, and I still have to kind of survive on my own for the next little while. So the only thing that is going to be paid for by my dad is because tomorrow as well I got to pick up some cat litter for these guys, and that's basically it. And then, like I said, I still have to because I meant to do the parts car thing today. So like I have an '83 Mustang parts car, and which it came in clutch yesterday because the fuse for the horn blew, which I didn't even think to check the fuse, to be honest. Because I'm like, why would the fuse have gone? Because I had the horn going up on the last weekend, like to the dyno day in Edmonton, and my buddy Keith drove the car, and all of a sudden it did not have a horn anymore. And I thought that maybe the switch just bit the ghost, but it turns out no, it's just the fuse. So nice easy fix. I didn't have any 20 amp fuses around, so I'm like, wait a minute, I've got a parts car. Go over there, and I did a little video, and so when your parts car comes in clutch, and the thumbnail is just me in front of the parts car holding a bunch of fuses in my hand, because I took every single fuse out of the car. Because again, that car is gonna get scrapped, not right away, but soon. Need to pull a couple more parts out of it. I want to pull the steering column out of it. I want to pull that intake and carb, just because it is a 3.8 V6 intake. For like a carburetor, it's actually kind of rare. So, and that carburetor is probably a decent carb for somebody to go through whatever else, and I can sell that too. Because there's people that love carburetors, and some of them would prefer to go to a carburetor on the later motors. And I believe you could just bolt those intakes right onto the later 3.8. So, and even 4.2s, as a matter of fact, I believe. So, there's that. There's because I have somebody interested in the rad support for the car, which I meant to go do that today, but I was so busy. I did not expect the carburetor to take me this long, but it has. Um, so there's that. And let's see, what else? What else? I think that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, I want to pull the dash out of it. I want to pull the windshield out of it because I can always use a spare Fox body windshield around. And that windshield, other than one little rock chip, is actually in really good shape. I do need to fix a couple of rock chips on the windshield of the Capri. I need to get that. I can't remember what the product is called. I can look it up, but I just can't remember it off the top of my head. There's this product that you brush on. It's typically black. That you brush on rust, and it just stops it from spreading. I need to get myself some of that because the rust, especially on the roof of the Capri, is not good. Especially if, like, that's going to be my new daily driver. So if I drive that in the wintertime, it's going to be bad. Very bad. So that's what's going on with that. I need to find a limited slip for that car before the wintertime. Otherwise, Stitch is being driven in the winter. Because I'm not driving that car with an open diff. I did that before with Stitch. Never again. Because it's just, it was terrible. I always got stuck in front of my own goddamn house. But the limited slip, not once did I get stuck. So, but friend of mine is actually donating me. Now, it's not a limited slip rear end, sadly. But it does have some interesting gearing in it, which I would, I might put those gears in Stitch, actually, because he thinks they're 373s. They might be 410s, though. I would honestly, I might take either or for Stitch, because it would actually help with a couple of things with that car, so, with those big-ass tires it has on it, so we'll see. But then I'll have a spare 8.8 around, which is out of a Thunderbird, so it's not, it's a little wider than the Mustang. And it's an open carrier, so, because if it was limited slip, I would just take the limited slipness out of it, and I would put the 373s into Stitch, and then find me a set of like 273 or 308 gears for that 8.8, and put the limited slip with 308 or 273s in the Capri, and call it a day. You know, it's just one of those deals, and just figuring stuff out that way, right? Of, you know, and trying to fit everything into my budget, which is basically almost nothing. So it's kind of rough. But yeah, no. Limited slip for your Granada. See, now in your Granada, do you have, that still has the 7.5 in it, or did you upgrade to an 8.8? And because, you know, like, because it's interesting, people always say, well, hey, you know, if you have a, you know, a 7.5, like, if you want a limited slip for a 7.5, just go get one out of, like, a Ranger, to be honest. But then that's 5 lug, which I don't want to go 5 lug on that thing, so, you know, I don't want to go 5 lug on cars. I don't care to. It's so much more work. You think it has an 8.8? Okay. Yeah, see, because most 8.8s are limited slip, but you know, it's one of these things. And weirdly, so every time I kind of start the car at the moment, since swapping this carb, because it has quite the hard start with this carburetor. Again, tuning, need to figure this out. Weirdly, it's killing the battery. I don't know why. Like, it's an optimal battery, it should be fine. But it might be the fact that I was cranking it quite a bit today, trying to get it to start earlier, and that's why. So, possible. Just, again, some stuff to figure out. A lot of this is pretty simple. The hardest one is going to be getting that bracket built. Um, and then just figuring out where I want to. I think I know where I'm gonna mount the choke pole, but also figuring out like where am I wanting to run the line, and do I have to drill a hole, which I probably do, um, or if I can do something else, right? So we shall see how that goes, right? And the shitty part is like I'm gonna be drilling straight through like insulation. So it is. Oh, what's the model of that Holly carb? So it is a Holly. It's a Holly 2-barrel carb. I know it's off of an International, and it's only 267 CFM. But I'm trying to remember the exact model. It's not the 2300, is it? It eludes me. I don't have the carb numbers on hand to, so that we can research it right now. If I had the computer here, which I don't, because my dad took it with him when he went to work, so which is fine. It's his computer. I told him he could take it, even though I didn't think of like, oh man, the computer would be really nice to do live streams and stuff. But it's fine. Oh, actually, I have a spare phone around here. Where is it? There it is. Haha! This is gonna explode like crazy though, because it hasn't been on for like a few weeks. So it's gonna all of my emails and stuff like that are gonna come through. Every single notification from Facebook, it's just gonna blow up. But I can use it for research because I have searched on my Google, so it'll pop up. Pew, 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 pew. But because like I know that and I've already rebuilt the cart. I fully did that myself. So I did it over winter actually. Okay. Ollie, come on. This phone's like really slow, so it takes a bit. Come on. Sorry, I'm just trying to remember the Holly carb because, like I said, it came off of like a '70s International. That's what I know. And it's your basic 2-barrel Holly carb. Just the only difference is it's only 267 CFM versus some other ones. Like they do make Holly makes a 500 CFM of that. Is it this one or is it? Hang on, I found it here. Like I said, as my phone is blowing up here. It is so if. Yeah, because if you type in actually on Google, Holly R4574 or list 5474, regardless, it'll pop up. Yeah, here we go. It was used from 64 to 1970 on internationals. This was their 2-barrel carb, and yeah, this is the exact carb I own, so like you can see. Come on. It might not focus because I'm in the strut. There we go. Yeah, it's not really gonna focus, but basically, yeah, this is the carb I own, and that's what's on there. Like I said, I rebuilt it, so it just uses your generic Holly 2-barrel rebuild kit. But it's it's just one of these things. Of just it's a good carburetor. It'll be fine. Like I got it running half decent actually. Still, like I said, a little tuning to be done. Um, I'm not excellent. Like I'm not like an expert when it comes to tuning a carburetor, but I'm pretty decent at it. And yeah, because like I rebuilt the carburetor, I cleaned it out, and we'll see how it goes. See, technically, the Ford Holly carbs were unique. Like if I remember correctly, I know their 4 barrels do not interchange like rebuild kits are you know Ford did proprietary shit, and it was just dumb with our that Holly carburetor. At least with the 4 barrels, the 2 barrel might be the same as that or similar, anyways. And the phone's still blowing up. Ah, okay, fair enough. Ah, cause like I posted a video of like how it ran before, um, and it actually ran, like it sounded just badass. Like I'll find that video really quick, and you can just listen to it. But again, it was because of the vacuum leak is the reason why it sounded the way it did. It sounds different with the Holly carb than it did with the Motorcraft, though. I'll tell you that. Probably up. Well, trying to figure out this carburetor. Got it started. Like that chop is just badass. I wish I could get that chop, with it just at idle, but I can't do that without a cam. But I love it. Whoa, holy crap. Jesus. There we go. Okay. Just put that down now. And so, like, there are things that I want, because for sure, I want Stitch to be fully functional. It'd be nice for this weekend, but we'll see. It should be, but again, it all depends on if I can get the throttle return bracket and the idle stop are the main two, plus the air filter and stuff. But again, I need a air filter spacer, which I can't get locally. Like I'd have to order one, and it probably wouldn't be until next week. So that's a struggle. But maybe I can ask. Maybe Lance has a very tiny air filter that I could use just temporarily until I get an air cleaner spacer, which Roy Markle actually has one for me. So, when I'm up there, I'll pick that up off of him, I think. I'm not gonna have a lot of time because it'll just basically be like a sort of 10-15 minute. Hi, thank you for the parts, but sorry, have to go. It sucks. It sucks because my dad got this job up north because again, all these trips that I normally did for like 2 or 3 days are now day trips. It sucks, but it saves me money to a degree, like it does, but it also makes me completely wore out. So by the end of it, oh. Yeah, and it's it's just one of those things. But it's adulting, right? Because yeah, like I live in Sundre, and then where I'm going this Saturday is NISQ. There's actually a car show slash dyno day, and I'm working the dyno, so hopefully we get a good amount of cars. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. What kind of a cleaner do I have for this? Because yeah, like, because I can modify this base though too, a little bit, but regardless, it's still gonna hit. It'll still hit no matter what. Which oddly enough, I got this off of Roy Marco. He donated this to me when we did the 2-barrel swap on my car. The initial 2-barrel swap, and that 2-barrel was freaking terrible. I could never get that thing to run 100%. Then I went to this carb and like never really looked back. But then I or the other 2-barrel carb that I have, because well, actually here I'll show you, because I have the carburetor actually in the front entry. I can show you what the old carb looked like. Like, it's just your basic motorcraft carb, but still. And why I did what I did with the fuel line, because the fuel line's a lot different now. Whatever. At least gas evaporates pretty quick, but... no, it's still leaking gas. Son of a bitch. Holy crap, there's a lot of gas in that carburetor. Jesus. I thought I emptied this carburetor, but I guess when I was really tired and doing my stuff with the carb earlier, that I didn't. Well, I know that the garbage is going to be taken out tonight. That's for sure. Because that definitely needs to be addressed. But anyways, so this is the old carburetor. So the orientation of it would have sat, so basically the carb sits actually sideways on my engine. So this would actually, so it'd be here. The throttle cable came around and right to here, right? You know, and and then, you know, I had my because of how this one is with the power valve here, it's not so bad with my bracket that actually Roy made for me, you know, when we did the 2-barrel conversion. That's the one thing. We had the bracket for the throttle turn cable here, and we just had the springs mounted up in here. But unfortunately, the Holly carb, the power valve is actually like right here, right beside it. So also instead of, you know, the fuel going in down here, it comes in basically at the top here on the Holly. So there's a lot of minor differences that way. And yeah, like this is still a good carburetor. It needs to be gone through again though, because after I vapor locked it, she just wasn't happy anymore. So again, little things to figure out, but really not too bad. But I enjoyed running this carb, and it's actually kind of an unusual carburetor because it actually uses Holly-sized jets. It's off of a '64 Galaxy. It's nice because I actually have the Fomoco tag. It's not a Autolite tag; it's a Fomoco tag. So the carburetor's old when, right? Because they didn't do that later on. Ugh. But you know, it's just one of those deals. Um, just like minor differences, between the two carburetors, to be honest. But like base plate and everything is almost the same. Okay, actually, where did I put that? Yeah. Let's throw this in the garbage. Hi, Teamer. What you doing, bud? Okay. There we go. Alright, I am now back. So, yeah. So, like I mentioned, just a bunch of little things to do to that thing to make sure it's good to go. Which, just checking a couple things. Oh, did he text me or why did I see that? Oh, I don't care about that. Sorry. Looking at my notifications on my phone. So, yeah. But I know that for sure I want the car to be ready for September 10th. And you might think, why September 10th? Because September 10th, I want to go. There is a track day happening. And it's something that I really want to attend. I'd be there with Roy Marco and some other people. And it'd be a fantastic time. It's cheap too. It's only like $40, so that's not bad at all. Because usually, like track days are a lot more expensive than that. But I'm definitely happy though with how the car is going and everything. And like I said, I'll figure out these little things tomorrow. Hopefully, because like I said, that's the bracket for the throttle return spring. That's the main one, because everything else, if I have that, I can at least take it around the block, right? Well, that and the idle stop, I need that too. So, but I can take it around the block and just see how it is, even without an air filter. Just really quick, because yeah, you don't want to run without an air filter for very long, obviously. But and maybe like I mentioned, perhaps my friend, my neighbor, potentially he has a small air cleaner that I could borrow, just for a little bit. Like instead of that big 14-inch, like do like an 8 or like a 10-inch air cleaner or something like that. Because I think he has one. Um, you know, just for the meantime until I figure out the spacer and stuff. Because if there's one less thing that I need to try and figure out that I can't get locally because it's a small ass town that I live in. And no, definitely not, Turlo. Sorry, I didn't see your message there. Apologies. Um, but we figure it out. That's the whole thing. Is figuring out what you want to do and how you want to do it. That's half the battle, because like I was doing a video call with my buddy, um and because there was just some things with the fuel line that I was trying to figure out, and he had some insight on that. So um yeah, it's just that whole thing. And it's nice though, because at least like the car runs, and if I had throttle return springs and an idle stop, I could actually, like I said, drive it around the block. So, and that's just the goal: being able to drive it around the block, and then do a little bit of tuning to it, and then once it's tuned, I can take it out on the highway, see how it feels, and go from there. And then, because I would love, love, love to get my car dynoed this weekend, but I don't know if it's going to be possible. Because again, just everything that I outlined. If I can get that all done within the next couple of days, which I should be able to, but again, we'll see. We'll see. I'll just have to, yeah. I just wish that like I had the people in town that that I used to. And hey, no worries, Turlo. I definitely appreciate you coming out. And oh, actually, before you go, do you want a couple of these? Because I've got obviously a ton of spares, so I can send these out to you. Because I have your sticker. Plus I have your shirt too. I think he's already gone. So, but honestly, without any other interaction in the chat, I think I'm gonna call it a night here. Okay, cool. I will. So I will send you a message, and just let me know your address, and I'll see if I can get those out to you tomorrow. So, but because he's the only one messaging, we've been on here for 42 minutes. Since he's going, I am going to end the live here. So I definitely appreciate everybody coming out, and it was fun. And yeah, I shall chat with y'all soon.